have to blow into the cartridge thinking that was gonna make it work better.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, man, we got our good friend, man. He came here a few years back, man.
First time he came, I think it was for Passengers.
Yeah, for Passengers, and we had such a great conversation with him. Whenever I look back at that interview, I realize how our arms were basically the same size at that time. We had a lot of commonality in our physiques. He went on.
What happened?
He continued to evolve, and I didn't. I devolved. But I want DB to give his introduction properly. Would you please, DB?
Absolutely. One of the earliest memories I have is my mom buying Super Mario Brothers. We brought it home. I was so young, and because Nintendo was so new, we didn't know what the hell to do with this game. We didn't know what pits not to jump in, the tunnels to take. We were just dying constantly. And it was the most fun we've ever had. And so seeing this movie, going to the screening, I mean, I wrote this review for the studio, and I was saying how much I love the characters. I love the animation, which is incredible. I mean, you can see the threads on Mario's hat. The cast is incredible. The jokes are great. The music, incredible. Easter eggs all over the place. And I heard that he was going to be bringing a gift. So I thought, you know what? Let me bring a gift for him, and actually, it's right over there. If somebody wouldn't mind grabbing, there's a square little package.
Could you get that from Tracy?
Right behind where the phone is, the other one. Yeah,
that right there.
Mike Muse behind you.
Behind Mike Muse.
That Shade 45 sign over there.
Okay, bong.
It's behind there.
Whoever these people are working for your team, Chris Pratt, please sit down. They don't know what they're doing though.
Mike, look down. There's a white packet. No, you were looking in the right place. Yeah.
Okay, boom.
Sorry, meant to bring it over here.
Okay, right.
There it is. There it is. There you go.
Chris.
That is for Chris.
This is for
Wow.
Ooh, I love Lush.
Say who we got.
That is for our guest, Chris Pratt, voicing the character Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie in theaters April 5th.
Can I?
That's not for him too, but yeah, you can open it. That is for you. You can open it.
Do that on camera, man. Go ahead, bro.
All right, here we go.
Let's see how many
Thank
people.
you, by the way.
You're
That's
welcome.
so nice.
It's heavy in his rap.
What have you got, man?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great.
It's a bath bomb in the shape of a Mario
It's a
Brothers.
bath bomb?
It's a bath bomb.
That's crazy.
It's a power-up bath bomb.
Yes.
Who knows what it is?
Wow.
Is it the flour?
I hear that there's
Is it the
different things.
mushrooms? Am I gonna have a really good bath? Drop that in. Blub, 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 blub. Oh, that's so nice, man.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
I heard you were bringing a promotional item, so I wanted to
let's go ahead and
get some karma points with you.
Thank you for that. Thank
No
you so
one
much.
else you interview with is going to do that for you, bro.
No one has.
That's not going to happen.
It's
I don't
like
think anyone
stripper
will.
glitter on it too.
Yeah, it does. That's stripper glitter. You're right.
It is.
That's like stripper DNA. CSI crime. Every time I open up a card at home that has glitter on it, honey, glitter on the card. Let it be marked in the record. I don't want to be like, why do you have a glitter on your cheek?
Yeah.
I'm like, because the card. I swear. I mean, I've been with you all day. Where do you think I stripped up to? What else would I strip up?
It's sparkly.
Hilarious.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
It's nice.
Now
Come
this
on,
is
man.
for you guys. This is the Super Mario Brothers movie official merch. I won't tell you what it is, but I will tell you this is
This is it?
Someone told me how much these are worth. It's very, very nice.
What they say? How much is it worth? You don't want to repeat that?
Can I say how much it's worth? I can't say it. I can't say it. But I'll tell you, it's really nice. So open that up on the inside.
Okay.
You'll
DB,
see.
why don't you come open it, man, since you brought the stripper box.
Here, I'll help you open it. I'll be like the price is right. Ready? The coin.
Oh, you got the coin?
That's the gold-plated coin.
Bro, hold it up for the camera.
That is nice. Wow.
Incredible, man.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's really nice.
It's real. That's a real gold-plated coin. This is heavy.
Citizens, it's a gold-plated coin.
That is
With
very
a mark,
nice.
so you see it just like you see it in the video
Mario
game.
game,
Let me
collecting
hold it.
those
Let me hold it.
coins.
Let me hold it.
Yeah, that's going back to the Callaways.
Whoa, nah. You know what? These two just bonded right here. I think. Don't you think DB should have it?
Sorry, everybody. Thank you.
Here's the command card.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's really nice.
Get them just scurry
So
on
nice.
by. You saw that?
That was
Damn.
nice.
Wow, that was a beautiful moment, Chris.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was
Thank
nice.
you, Chris.
Good to have you back, man.
Oh, I'm always going to bring gifts. You know, and now it's only going to go up from here. So
Okay.
Next time I come, I'm going to have to really bring something.
Yeah, what you gonna bring, man?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll figure it
Bring
out.
Schwarzenegger
brother.
with you.
Okay. Okay. It's an exciting time for you, man.
Yeah.
This is an exciting movie. I remember when the 1993 Super Mario Brothers film came out, and it didn't do so well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta say, I don't know that I've actually ever seen that movie.
Okay.
But I do know that, look, every piece of IP that's out there
Yeah.
has been made, right?
Yes.
Nowadays, you need to have some kind of reach to justify the multiple $1 million budget that these movies require, and so now studios, they're grabbing up everything. If anything's been a TV show that has any reach whatsoever, they're going to grab it. And it's a testament to Nintendo that they didn't let this movie get made for this long, because people wanted to make this movie.
Yeah.
And finally they did, because they partnered up with Illumination, and I think Miyamoto-san, who runs a show at Nintendo and created these characters, he trusted them. They did Despicable Me and Secret Life of Pets and the Minions movies, and so they finally are making it, and it's pretty great when you get that call and they're like, dude, you want to be Mario? I'm like, what? Okay. Yes, please.
Yo, that's incredible, man, because I'm truly a first-generation gamer. So when I saw you were in this, I got so excited. I'm looking forward to watching it in IMAX theaters in Harlem at the Magic Johnson Theater. I want to shout out Magic Johnson for what he does. Charles Martinet was the voice of the actual character in the game, right?
Right.
Did you get a chance to meet that person?
I haven't had an opportunity to meet him. So all of the voice talent, we were isolated from one another through the course of making this whole movie. So everyone who does a voice in the movie, we'd be isolated in a booth due primarily to COVID, but also because the studio Illumination is in Paris. And so we were, wherever we were, they'd find a sound booth and put you in, have a sound engineer, and then you'd zoom in to that. So all the people who are in the movie, I didn't have a chance to meet all of them unless I knew them before until we started promoting the movie.
You do a lot of voiceover work, man. That's you do big work as well, man. Is it easier for you, or like what are the differences?
Man, it's definitely a different beast altogether. There are elements that are easier. It's convenient because you can do it close to home, which for me as a family man, I got 3 kids. It's nice for me to have some work that is like, I go and I leave. I'm in my own bed. Oftentimes these movies I do are on location. So to be able to do a movie that's primarily done close to home, that's nice. I'm not on camera, which is very helpful, man. Like being a prop. A lot of actors are like, I am not a prop. I'm like, yeah, you are. You're like, have someone paint you up and polish you up, and you're standing there and they're lighting you, and there's a physicality to the job that is just being a prop. Yeah. And then you add your voice and your spirit to that prop. Being able to get rid of that, it really is freeing, man. You'll have your shoes off. There's no hair and makeup. You just show up, warm up your voice, and you get into it, and you can make big, crazy facial expressions and do all this stuff that you might not want to do if you were on camera. So in that way, it's freeing. But at the same time, it's complicated because one of the more difficult elements is in live action acting, you're creating a conversation, you're creating a real moment, you're having an interaction with somebody. They say something, they say acting is reacting, and it really is. Someone talks to you, you respond, you listen, you respond, and so it's organic to have a natural conversation with somebody in the moment when you're really in it with acting. But with voice work, a lot of times it's just say the line, say it 25 times in a row, try this, try that. So you're breaking it down. It's more mechanical. It's not as organic and real. Do you ever, cause citizens, in case you don't know, Chris Pratt is actually an avid rap fan, right? And in between takes, do you ever just break out in bars? And just constantly.
You do that, right?
Yeah. I do. You do, right? It's hard to have a mic in front of you and be like, and they're like, all right, Chris, can we get back to Mario? Oh, yeah, right. Sorry.
Who's your go-to? Is it still M or is it somebody else?
I do. I still listen to Eminem, Dr. Dre, old school stuff, the same stuff that I've really always listened to.
I remember last time you were here, you talked about your nephew Trevor, and Trevor was pretty damn good at MCing at that time. Trevor should have an album out by now.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Trevor.
Right? Come on, Trev. Now, he's gonna be so pumped.
Tell Trev he's welcome to come up here. You got to bring bars though.
He can.
If he's whack, I'm gonna call him out. Your son's rapping now though.
Yeah, my son. Yeah, Jack. He's started rapping because I'll rap around him, and he's like, Dad, you're good. You're better than Eminem, Dad. I'm like, okay. I love that you're my son and you love me. I get that.
Wait, are we still on the air? Make sure it's
And so I'll do that with him, and he's like, wow, that's really good. And then he'll come up to me, and he's got a couple bars he's like put together, and he's written. It's always about farts.
He's spitting now?
Yeah, he's spitting now. Yeah, he's talking about farts. Yeah, he's all about farts. All over you. He's like, my booty's so big, it's bigger than a pig. It's bigger than an excavator loves to dig. That was one of his lines. He goes, I make wind out of my cheeks, change the weather. it's raining for weeks. I was like,
we got a hyena up in here. Kid got bars, man. Remember last time he was here, you was rubbing all over his arms?
Don't do that, Sway. Like, no, they still look good, though. I did touch them earlier. I was acting like I was getting stripper glitter off, but I was really getting the feel.
Now I get it.
Now you get it. No, Chris, again, thank you for being here. And I've always been fascinated with voiceover work.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because we have so many amazing actors that come through, and they talk about how did they prep for the role. Oh, I'm playing nurse. I went and studied in the hospital, hung out with so-and-so.
Right.
How do you prep to be Mario? Like, what do you do?
Well, I mean, it's discovering a voice that wasn't there before because, I mean, yes, Charles Martinet voices the character, but beyond a few catchphrases, you don't know much about these characters.
Right.
And once you learn who these characters are, or at least this iteration of the narrative film version of these characters, you have to come up with something that makes sense. Because I think 90 minutes of woohoo, it's a goal. You're doing that like, dude, oh my God, I'm 4 minutes into this movie. I don't know if I can make it through 90 minutes of this shit. And so you have to find a way to make it organic, to root it in some sort of emotional reality. And that sounds silly, but really all great comedies or animated movies or anything that you take away the animation and the music and the Easter eggs and the fun and the excitement, you have to have a solid emotional through line. It has to be a story about relationships. It has to have characters you really care about. And the way you're going to do that is you ground it in reality. So for me, preparing the role was working with the directors to find that balance between striking some of those the signature iconic tones, but also in a voice of a person that felt like a real person. And so it was creating that, and then throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall to see what sticks. I would do 4-hour sessions, probably once or twice a month over the course of 2 years, and I'd go in there and I come back, and they're like, "All right, so the stuff you did last week, here, it's really great. Let's play back some of this stuff," and we'd listen to it and say, "Oh, I like that. Oh, that's interesting. This is a little more fun." And so then, experimenting with variations of a Brooklyn accent and, how heavy of the New York influence do you want to put in there and how heavy of the Italian influence do you want to put in there. And by probably the 5th or 6th session, we'd zeroed in on the right tone of the voice.
That long, wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that was it. They would every time I'd come in, I'd put on the headphones, they go, "Let's play the track," and it was a reference track of my own voice back to me, the stuff that they liked, they had selected from my previous takes that they wanted that tone for the movie, and that's what I would aim for.
Wow.
Oh,
Chris Pratt is here,
The
man.
whole
This
process,
dude, man.
right?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna stop cracking jokes the way he broke that down. You going for the Oscar?
And I do. I want to thank the Academy for my work as Mario.
He's already got the squint down.
Yeah.
So that's right. Okay.
Chris, I saw an interview that you did, and someone was asking you, like, what do you feel more attached to, the franchise for Jurassic Park or for like Super Mario Brothers? And you were tying it back to nostalgia.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, we watched Jurassic Park as kids, like, maybe 5-6 times.
Yeah.
But the amount of times we played Super Mario Brothers is just innumerable. And it just had me thinking, like, I would say in this period specifically, in like the last 5 years, like the nostalgia ultra has just been to the next level in terms of all different shows that remind you of the past. I think even when it comes to like styling. But then I also think how we have these conversations about AI, or in general, people just be worrying about their future. And so since you are an actor, and I feel like an actor is also a sociologist, from the characters that you've played, do you think that that nostalgia has a stronger hold on humans, the past, or a focus on the future has a stronger hold on humans?
Man, it's a great question. I think maybe a focus on the future has a little bit more of a hold on people in terms of occupying their conscious, what they're thinking of in the moment, what they're worried about, the anxieties that are coming into their lives, probably based on things that are upcoming. But that's why nostalgia is actually so sneaky, because you're not really, like when I saw this Mario movie, I was not really prepared. And I forget the soundtrack to my life of 9, 10, 11, 12 years old was dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, or, like, and like all the sounds that So when I hear that, I'm like, it's this Pavlovian response to like, oh, right. Yeah. Back to when I was a kid. So like it sentiment and nostalgia, it creeps in on us, I think, because we're not really we got our backs turned to it. We're facing this thing ahead of us, and we're so worried about it that it kind of sneaks in the back door and is like, remember you were a kid once. And that's what's nice about this movie. I think it's like sneaky good because people like us, like you said you're a first generation. I didn't code like my own games. I wasn't like that. But I did play in 1988, 89, 90 and video game. I was blowing on the cartridge doing things when it like you'd have the one kid in the neighborhood who'd just be like, hey, let Reggie do it. And he'd be like,
Yep.
Reggie knew how to hit the Nintendo to make sure it worked. There's always one kid who, like, for some reason, he had the magic touch. He had three blows, put it in, and then stick like a baseball card up above it, so push it down just right.
Yo.
Those things were temperamental. But yeah, all that sneaky stuff it's a long way to answer your question. It's a great question, but I think probably we focus more on the future, which is why sentiment is so effective to pull us out of that and bring us back to something great.
Yeah.
Mike Muse?
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, Chris. Love the conversation, love all that you're saying, but I just can't get over the fact that I'm looking at you because I was in Disney World over the weekend, and Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite ride of all time. I'm a roller coaster enthusiast, right? But there's something about Guardians of the Galaxies, and I kept having the guy take me back there every day, and we rode it multiple times. We did it back to back to back. And so and we kept talking about you and Guardians of the Galaxy. So seeing you sitting here,
that's surreal.
I'm just wondering, for you, is it surreal for you to ride that ride and seeing yourself throughout the interaction in your voice at the most amazing park in the world?
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you. That's awesome that you went. What if you woke up and you were still on the ride?
Bro,
that ride is really good.
I keep thinking about that ride, though.
Did you do the one in Orlando? Or
Orlando.
Yeah. See, I haven't. I've been to the one in. There's one in
Disneyland,
California Adventure Park. They remade the Tower of Terror into this Mission Breakout ride. I've ridden that one. I haven't had an opportunity to ride the Flashback, so I haven't seen it yet. But I've heard you're about the third person today that's told me that they've been there and have ridden that ride, and that it's a really
you're very prominent.
Great ride. Is that right?
Yeah,
I heard it's good though. I heard it's really incredible. Isn't it the biggest indoor?
It's the biggest indoor attraction roller coaster there is, and what makes it so unique is that when you go on the track, the cars spin.
Right.
So you go down the hill spinning.
You don't get no residuals off that, bro?
I don't think so. No, I don't get residuals. But they pay you to do that stuff, so like you don't get paid a huge amount. It's like a pretty minimal, a couple days worth of work. Usually they bake it into whatever movie you're doing at the time. They're like, but yeah, we do okay.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I didn't mean to get into your pockets, but
they let me cut in front of the line. That's what I get.
That's what you get?
Yeah.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Was the line big? Did you have to wait in line?
I had a guide.
Oh, you don't wait in line.
Nah, this guy doesn't do that. What's the line? Other than
Chris.
It was a good question, Chris. That's a good question.
It's like spitting on people as you walk through. Peasants. So, Chris, you were talking about the process of doing voice work, and I was actually watching The Magnificent Seven the other day.
Oh.
And there was the scene when you guys were preparing for that big invasion, and you and Vasquez were, I think it was like setting up explosives, and he's like very smart to smoke around explosives, and you throw the cigarette at him.
Yeah.
So in situations like that where you do, it seemed like an improv moment to me, like a reaction that he would have done.
Yeah.
When you do those moments, and maybe the director doesn't think it works, but you feel like this is funny, and you and the other co-stars,
right?
Do you relent, or do you try to find a happy medium, or do you just like, insist like, let's try it?
It really depends on the director, because that was Antoine Fuqua, and that guy he's so liquid in his process that if I try something and I believe it works, he's gonna let me do it. There are periodically directors that you work with that are a little more precious about the material, especially if they've written the material, to where they have a vision of what this thing is going to be, and they want you to just service that vision. And so sometimes I'll have to be walked back, because I'm always improvising, and I'm always colloquializing and trying to keep it fresh and say something different every time. If I do once, they're like, that was great, can you do it again? I'm like, no, you were recording, like if you need that again, just print it twice. I'm gonna try something different, because maybe I can beat it.
Right.
Why settle for what we just did if it was great? If we could make something exceptional, make it better. And so I like to make it new. But yeah, I remember that. I think that was improv.
Yeah.
What about the Russo brothers? You're doing Electric State with them, right?
Yeah.
So you're coming back together with them. How is it like working with them?
Man, really, really smooth. What an awesome team that they have and that they put together. I mean, they're kind of like 50,000-foot view guys. They have an extraordinary team that they trust deeply to handle business for them, and it just allows them to focus on just the directing. And so they're really great, super collaborative, really funny, and just they are such pros, and especially with the movies that they do, there's an element of animation to the movies that they do, because if you're talking about Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, there's a lot of elements of CGI and animation in those. And what's nice about that is the process of animation is slightly different than the process of live action filming in many ways. But one of the ways is that in the post-production process, if something's not working, you can just throw it out and fix it.
Yeah.
Because like if it's all on film, that's what you shot and that's what you have to work with. But if you're kind of creating the backgrounds and doing all this stuff and you see a test, you go, I don't like the way that city looks. You can just get rid of it and replace it with a new city. Probably costs a little bit of money, but that's not something they don't have a shortage of after Avengers.
No, not the Russo brothers. Do you remain friends in between projects?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you hang out with these guys?
Yeah, when I can. I've got a few. You get a handful of friends that you really connect with, and otherwise it's a little bit like the circus. You have this deep, intimate connections that are momentary, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, and then the text thread's really strong, and it's like summer camp. You're like, man, we're really best friends forever. I love you. I'm gonna text you every day. I'm gonna text you 10 times a day, and then like a couple weeks go by, and a few less texts.
That's so real.
Before long, you're like, damn, that's just somebody I used to know. And then
Avengers for life.
Yeah, and then what's nice is you have that such a deep, intimate connection. Like best friends, maybe guys are more like this than girls, not to make generalizations based on sex or whatever, but I know my best friends, I won't talk to them for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then you see them and it's like, pick up right where you left off. Right? No one's like, so you didn't text me. It's like, no, none of that stuff. So I like that. It's like that with most of my friends. When we pick up, it's like, here we go. We're riding again.
Did you not feel that energy when you walked in the room with us? It's been a couple of years, right? And we just picked up right where we left off.
Sway.
My man, Chris Pratt, man. Come on, man. Get this dude a round of applause, bro.
Yeah, please.
You ain't got the Oscar yet.
No.
But you got the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Whew, yeah, I did.
Come on,
I
man.
got in the Walk of Fame.
This man on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It doesn't get bigger than that, man.
Dude.
I know you ain't the type that aim for, props or aim for accolades like that, but it must feel well.
It was really surreal to get that because for a while when I was in Hollywood, I had rented an apartment 1 block away from the Walk of Fame. Oh, wow. So before anybody knew who I was, I would go walk down and get this hot dog joint at night. I'd walk down and get some hot dogs. I'd walk past these stars, and I was like, see them, and I recognize some of them. Others I didn't. I just wonder, how does this even happen? I'm a boy chasing my dreams in this town, and you see this signpost way in the distance, and you think, oh, God, that'd be incredible, because you don't always know exactly what to aim for when you come to town as being an actor.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do you want? I want to not be a waiter. That's what I want. I want people to give me auditions. So I want to work. I want the dream. What does it look like? I don't know. Apart from maybe a few little things, and one of them being the Walk of Fame.
Congratulations, man. Chris Pratt, man. He's a friend of ours. Yes. I like that, man. Congratulations on all your success. And,
thanks, man.
Boy, you sure know how to pick a project, man. You don't lose. This guy right here, the Super Mario Brothers, the movie in theaters April 5th. Take your family, take your friends, and see it more than once, okay? And then tell Trevor, tell your son, whenever they're ready to spit them bars, bring them up.
All right, let's go.
All right, Chris Pratt, y'all.